So today's training on Pure Body is basically taking the fasting training from last week and parlaying into now building muscle after a fast. So Dr. CJ here with Buddha Vida Wellness. We are starting our 6th core concept. Am I saying it right? Yes, we are starting our 6th core concept today. So we just finished a fasting variation training week. I personally just finished a 7-day water fast. I know a lot of you were on that journey with me. I just had a team meeting with my staff today, and they informed me that there was many clients of ours that also did the 7 days. So we just finished fasting training variation week. I talked about all the different types of fast. Our 6th core concept, we have pure food, pure water, sugar burning versus fat burning, diet variation, fasting week, right? And now the 6th core concept is pure body. Pure body. What does that mean? Pure body. Well, for me, Pure Body, we're going to be talking to you and we're going to be teaching you and sharing with you in these short, 10, 15, 20-minute segments, how to have the purest body. So, it's not just about money. It's not just about houses. It's about relationships. It's not just about muscle. It's about having clean cells. There's always a building up and a breaking down. So we just finished fasting variation training week. I just finished a 7-day water fast. So what have I been doing for the last 7 days? What process have I turned on? Anybody know? My favorite word, the word of the decade, autophagy. So I turned on autophagy, which is the major breaking down period. So we have breaking down and building up, which is mTOR pathway, completely separate pathway. So you've got autophagy, which breaks down, recycles, takes away dead, diseased, unhealthy tissue. And then you have mTOR, which builds muscle, builds new tissue, all the stuff that autophagy got rid of. Now we want to build new cells. Now we want to build new muscle. So today's training on Pure Body is basically taking the fasting training from last week and parlaying into now building muscle after a fast. So the next 4 or 5 days, we're going to be covering exercise. Let's just go over the topics so that you know what we're going to be covering. So we're going to be going over today is building muscle after a fast. Tomorrow, Coach Teresa, one of the coaches in my clinic, who has a ton of expertise in personal training and fitness, is going to come live in place of me because she's got a little bit more information to share with you than I do. My background is health, nutrition, cellular healing, anti-aging. She's been with me for, I think, 1.5 years now, loves what we're doing. But her background prior to joining us and helping people with this health transformation was personal training, building muscle. Okay, so today is going to be how to take advantage of what has been happening over a fasting period. In other words, how to take advantage of that autophagy that's been happening, the breaking down of everything, and now The other thing that happens besides autophagy during the fasting period, which is why I'm going to talk about what I'm going to talk about today, is not only do you have autophagy occurring during water fasting or intermittent fasting or fasting mimicking. So autophagy is not just there with water fasting, and I've done lots of videos on that. Go back and watch those. But the other thing that happens, especially when you do prolonged fast, and that's one of the reasons why I did a 7-day water fast this time instead of just like a 2-day or a 3-day. Once you get to day 3, 4, 5, you now have these spikes of growth hormone and stem cell activity. By day 7, you are maxed out. You are maxed out with autophagy, growth hormone, and stem cell. And how do you make new tissue? Well, stem cells, as we've talked about before, are little undifferentiated cells that come from your bone marrow that are stimulated out of your bone marrow during a fast. So I've got high stem cells now. Now, because of the different breakdown and recycling of different material, like I've got a left hip issue. So I've got some cells in my left hip joint that during this 7-day water fast, my body went in and it broke down any unhealthy connective tissue, any unhealthy cartilage. So it broke all of that unhealthy stuff down, all that unhealthy organic material down, cleared it all out. Well, I don't want to stop there. Now, because I'm eating again, now I want to take advantage of the stem cell initiation and the growth hormone, which is a building up process in the body, to now build new cartilage cells in my hip, to now build new connective tissue, new collagen, all the stuff that makes up the joints. I want to rebuild my joint. And doing multiple prolonged fasts, targeting a specific area of injury or degeneration like that, makes changes. See what I have on here? This says, I trust my innate intelligence. So I have turned on my innate intelligence. So today I'm going to talk about how to take advantage of building muscle, building new cells, building new body material, new proteins, new tissue, new mitochondria, post-fast. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about, Coach T is going to go into strength training, which is like how to build muscle. She's going to give a specific lesson on exactly how to build muscle, what activities build muscle, which is an important part of my conversation post-fasting, but I'm going to let her take care of the exercise part of it, and I'm going to take care of the nutrition, physiology, the physiological aspect of it. Lesson number 3 on Thursday will be Coach Teresa again, and she's going to be coming live and bringing you training regarding a pure body. And she's going to cover stretching and flexibility. And then on Friday, I'll come back on Friday, and I'm going to be covering yoga and Pilates and Tai Chi, basically not non-weight bearing, but non-impact activities that you can do as you get older. If you have sore knees, if you have sore hips like I do because of playing sports my entire life, but different activities, strengthening activities you can do without hurting your joints. And then the last lesson on Saturday will be the exercise weight loss myths. Okay, so let's just finish up today in fasting. So I have peaks of stem cells, I have peaks of growth hormone, I've been in autophagy, but now I want to turn on the opposite path. So when you're fasting, intermittent fasting, you're either in autophagy or mTOR. Now, good rule of thumb is you want to be in autophagy about 80% of the time, overall in general or overall in wellness eating, and you want to be in mTOR about 20% of the time. So what I am doing for the next day or two, and a lot of this I've learned from Dr. Mindy Pelz. You can go to her YouTube channel, Dr. Mindy, P-E-L-Z. She just wrote a book on the menopause reset. So she's done a lot of research on the fasting and the muscle building. So the premises and the different concepts that I'm bringing you today, I learned from her and just doing more research and listening to other scientists and doctors and clinicians that specialize in fasting. So when you first break a long fast, and I covered this in detail last Friday and Saturday, and you can go back and watch those on my YouTube channel. But I talked to you in my fasting guide. My fasting guide has specific foods that you want to break your fast with. But just as a rule of thumb, just think about it. For me specifically, 7 days, no food in my gut. Do I want to just throw in a big steak? No. So you want to go low and slow. You want to start with maybe liquids, like maybe a little kombucha, maybe a little bone broth, right? And you just want to get some nice healing liquids onto that gut lining that hasn't had any food in there. We've completely reset your microbiome. We have all these beautiful new bacteria. Stem cells have increased. So now if we give it a bunch of probiotics, the stem cells are going to stimulate all of this healthy growth in the intestinal area and the gut lining. So you want to start with like broth, kombucha, and then maybe you want to bring in like maybe a little healthy fat, maybe some coconut oil, maybe some fermented vegetables. So it's all about soothing the gut first. Second step is as many probiotic rich foods as possible. Third step is nice healthy fats. And you're going to do that slowly over time. Now, a good rule of thumb is however many days you fasted. So let's say you fasted 3 days. You want to take about 3 days to slowly get back to regular eating. 5-day water fast, you want to take about 5 days to slowly get back to regular eating. 7-day water fast, which is what I did, I broke it Sunday night. I did kombucha. I didn't have any bone broth, so I did kombucha. I did some olive oil, some avocado, some pink salt. What else? Raw almond butter. And then the next day I had a little bit of eggs, a little bit of avocado, a little bit of salmon, very little. Now here I am the 3rd day post-fast. Now I want to really get in and stimulate those mTOR pathways. So today I'm upping my protein, 150 grams of protein today and tomorrow. So now that I can take advantage of those high stem cells, which are brand new little cells that can go anywhere my body needs them, and the growth hormone, which is going to favor the recycling and the regeneration and the replenishment of any tissue that my body has gotten rid of over this last 7 days. So any connective tissue, any scar tissue, any collagen, any mitochondria, any cells, any liver cells that weren't healthy, whatever my body has cleared out over the last 7 days, now I want to favor the mTOR pathway so that now I can grow and rebuild all of that tissue. I can rebuild muscle, I can rebuild joints, I can rebuild mitochondria, etc., etc. So I'm going to, and I have, do 4 to 5 meals today, anywhere between 20 25 grams of protein per meal. I want to try and get somewhere between 100 and 150 grams of protein today, and then I want to end by the end of the day, before I go to bed, another 40 grams of protein, and I'm going to do that today and tomorrow. Now, if I can also do some exercise now to stimulate mTOR as well, and that's what we're going to cover tomorrow when we talk about strength training, how to build muscle specific exercises like HIIT, high intensity interval training. We want to break the muscle down to build it. We're going to cover that in detail tomorrow. But for today, I just want to share with you, you can use the fast to now rebuild your body, because when you have done a 7-day water fast, you're going to have high growth hormone and high stem cell activity even as you start reintroducing food back into your diet for days after the fast. You don't just fast and get these spikes of growth hormone and stem cell activity. It doesn't just spike and then go away the next day. As long as you're eating healthy, clean food and staying away from processed sugars and packaged foods and staying away from high carbs, and you're just doing fermented foods, probiotics, low carb vegetables, and now we're going to up the protein high, because the body needs that protein, because that's the building block to build new tissue, protein. So 100 to 150 grams of protein today and tomorrow. I'm also going to be doing some high intensity interval training as well, but I want to take advantage of that high stem cell activity, that high growth hormone activity. I want to rebuild my joints, rebuild anything that my body broke down. You can use protein powders. I had an amazing product that we carry in the practice today. It's made by Systemic Formulas, and it's called ECM. Let me grab it real quick. I posted a picture a couple of hours ago as well before I went live. So we have Systemic Formulas, Collagen MB. This is a muscle building collagen. So I had a scoop of this. This is also Systemic Formulas. It will not release your insulin or raise your insulin. It's MetaboShake. 12 grams of protein, 17 grams of protein. So this was a 30-gram protein meal. I added a little bit of frozen avocado and a few frozen strawberries just to make it taste a little bit better. And then I didn't eat for 3 or 4 hours, and then I ended up eating 3 eggs, which is 20 grams of protein. Okay, so I've got 30, 20, I'm at 50. So now I need to get, at least another 50 in. I'll do at least one or two more meals. So this is not about, the 6 to 8 hour eating window. This is not like most of what I teach, because most of what I teach is you want to be 80% of the time intermittent fasting, keto, low carb. But it's really important to have feast days. It's really important to have different feast days, and a protein feast day, which is basically what I'm doing today and tomorrow. The purpose of it is to build muscle, stimulate mTOR. I want to increase clean protein load to greater than hopefully 100, 150 grams of protein. So how fun to be able to just eat all day long, how enjoyable, because most of the time I'm intermittent fasting. So I'll be doing the same thing tomorrow. And I want you to just listen to everything that I'm saying. And if you fasted at all, make sure that you're breaking it properly, and continue to listen this week as we give you more and more information about how to have your purest body, how to build muscle using fasting and feasting, how to stretch, how to be flexible, just all the ins and outs of having your purest body. These 12 core concepts will help you live your purest, happiest, most vibrant, joyous life. So I'm blessed. I'm so honored to be able to teach you these concepts. I'm here to love you and support you any way that I can. Thank you so much for everyone that participated last week in our fast. It was so much fun. I loved it. I think that's good for today. This is Dr. CJ Benkert, loving you, inspiring you, educating you, encouraging you to live your purest life in body, mind, heart, and spirit. Peace out.